here. And I think the drafts that we have here exactly suit the styles that Indonesia and Philippines are known for, with this side of Indonesia wanting to go for a little bit more of that early game and maybe set things up.
Oke guys, welcome back.
We know that they want to be able to
Sini
control of that
RRQ versus PH guys ya, versus Fnatic Onyx PH cuy.
around their opponents.
Agree, definitely. All right, so far so smooth. A great cover coming in. I mean, we do see invasion coming in between Susujin as well as
Oke,
Falyerald.
Keldra.
Gonna be
Mati
right now.
Nice.
Almost close
Tidak mati guys ya.
to be tagged out, but with a dash, he still managed to survive it out. And we do see at least Brusco is on the light side.
Sini Sutsujin memakai Xbox jungle cuy. Dan Dairon memakai Hilda. Kalau dari draft ya guys ya.
Nevertheless, he'll still be able to hold it
Kalau
ground.
dari draft, untuk late game sih
Sujin, it's expected that he's gonna be putting a little bit more attention towards the goal lane.
menurut gua kekuatan yang kanan sih.
Briscoe taking quite a lot of damage himself.
Oh, coming in and now we do see the first fight coming.
Baru dibilang kekuatan yang kanan sih.
The attempts coming in from Darren try to shut down Fnatic. Onyx is not gonna be able to do so now. E-Dog and Rince gonna wait it out for Susujin to be actually hold it out, but this turtle is already in the hands of Kikon, and now they're going
Oke, dapat turtle PH.
Kikon takes out E-Dog immediately with the Spirit of Alpha. Now pushing straight
Aduh,
away
bau-bau
to
nih,
the
cuy.
side of the one and only Susujin, but doesn't manage to put it. But that was already a good win.
Harusnya draft kanan tuh early-nya bagus ya. Karena ada cowok Hilda dia.
It is very much
Kiri
expected
juga
that
bagus,
Fnatic
ada
should control the early
Alpha
game
ya.
with an Alpha, Edith, and
Late game kanan
It's
sih
a
gua.
lot easier for them to take control of objectives, and they just have generally more damage
Kalau late game
compared
kanan
to
is.
RRQ Hoshi. For RRQ, they gotta hold the early game and focus on giving as much farm to Rince and Skylar as possible, with the Claude being the more obvious. That's why you're going to see a little bit more ganking towards the gold lane to make sure that Claude wins out against the Harith, because usually Harith is the winner here in this 1v1 lane matchup.
Oh, that's totally agree. And here on out, we do see a 1v1 matchup coming in from Kurt as well as Dirin. Airborne comes through, and now Kurt's trying to do it damage as much as he could. But I mean, you're talking about fighting off with Dirin. I mean, a lot of the mobility-wise, a survival and sustainability coming in from him. It's not going to be easy. Attempts coming in from the side of Kurt himself, but he's still not giving up. But he's got to be careful. Along the side of RRQ, it's going to be Susujin is just overlooking. And it seems that King Kong gets the input as well, and they will deny it as well. Now, Rince moving away as quickly as possible before being tagged out. Position is a good in favor coming in from RRQ, but they really gotta hold off for a while because the aggression and put out by Fnatic Onyx at the moment right now, it's really scary.
Yeah, I feel a little bit bad for Tyrant, because when you are on a Hilda, you're usually the one causing havoc and pressure on the map. But because Onyx just has so much early game damage and they're dealing with an alpha jungle, the Hilda cannot actually invade to try and disrupt King Kong. He just has to try and win out a lane priority, which is already kind of difficult against an Edith, so that they can roam and actually
Oke, jadi ini itemnya guys, item awal.
The map.
Baru gue pengen lihat.
Onyx not really being stopped by that.
Turtle guys, setup turtle. Oke. King Kong kena. Oh, ditahan cuy. King Kongnya ditahan sama Dairon guys ya. Gak ada damage cok, Skylar. Mati Brusco. Nice. Keldra mati. Aman cuy.
Now that's what is needed coming in for the side of RRQ, but at the same time, this is going to be tough for the side of Team Fnatic Onyx, as at least RRQ Hoshi gets the trade that they needed.
That is exactly what RRQ Hoshi is looking for, and actually a massive win, because up until now I have been mentioning that Fnatic Onyx should be stronger at this stage of the game. They just have more presence and damage overall, but extended the team fight a little bit too far, and RRQ beautifully managed their resources and positioning, playing around the healing being provided by the Revitalize to prolong the fight, and then re-enter once Onyx had overextended in the mid lane. Because of that, Susujin now has a little bit of an EXP lead against King Kong, and RQ has even up the net worth difference. As long as they keep the gold even and Skylar does not die, this game is
Dairon
in their
mati.
favor.
Aman cuy.
definitely. And a little bit stronger coming in from the side of Darren. This is where no matter how much you try to put out a potential to fight over Kurt, it's still not enough. And going into the side of Susujin, I agree on the note that now he's actually in a very good advantage. Hopefully RRQ Hoshi can be potentially to cover and control the movement that they are required right now to move into
Ada ke atas
the
sih.
mid game. And so far right now, we do see that Team Fnatic Onyx is gonna actually try to team up right at the top, gonna actually try to give a lot of pressure to Skylar as well as Ido, but it will be denied instantly. Team RRQ Hoshi, really good grounding, really good coverage right now for both teams. It's really tie up for both of the teams right now.
Yeah, like we mentioned, gold lane going to
Okay,
get a lot
so-
of attention because if Onyx can unlock Kelra and have him start gaining gold from assists, it accelerates their snowball so much further while stopping Skylar. But RQ not letting that happen.
Oh, they're not letting it happen as
Okay,
well. They contest
turtle
the
guys.
turtle as well. Darren coming in for the push of
Okay,
the sword.
Sujin dapat
Takes
guys.
down and get the turtle instead. But at the
Anjir.
moment right now, they will be trying to go in for the scrimmage. Not done yet. Going in for the push to the side of Rinz. Rinz had to pull away with Sujin having so much damage to put out. They had to reposition, but it's a good move. Skylar almost
Darren,
protected
Darren.
up. Now Darren coming in for the backline. Dead
Okay,
managed to
okay.
take down. This is Zaman
Nice.
coming through, and Rinz takes down Killer
Mati dah,
immediately.
Rinz.
Now pushing on straight. Darren doesn't have much damage,
Anjir.
and they had to pull away. A really
Gong,
good
Cok.
win, but Super
Mati ya.
Freeze comes along with the trade, and King Kong
Rugi,
shuts
coy.
down Sujin
Sos.
immediately with the cause they have. Even
Anjir.
getting the turtle is a two trades coming in from the
Mati,
side of
guys.
Fnatic Onyx, but
Aman,
Jiren, he seems like Kurt trying to get as much as kill as possible. He wants to go in for the push, but still, it was a good cause. They still managed to pull away without any casualty, but the trade is still the same for Fnatic Onyx as well as Philippines.
Yeah, that trade initially looked incredible for RRQ Hoshi. Again, beautifully managing their positioning.
mati dong.
But this time it was them who prolonged the fight a little bit too far and
Scalar.
underestimated the DPS.
Skiller.
For 5 as the moment right now, we do see Gato Kacha coming in, but at the same time, it's not gonna pull anything with that Avatar Guardian. Team Fnatic Onyx will be able to pull away for those fight, even despite the
Kalau
fact
gini,
that
cuy.
RRQ Hoshi was not been pulled in. But at the same time, RRQ Hoshi, great position, great respawn wise. So far, they know how to actually have a really good space.
Menangnya
in the
gimana ya,
trade
guys, ya?
Fnatic
Lihat
Onyx.
game
That's
sih,
what is
kanan.
needed. Even on the
Ada
ground
Xbox
wise,
sama
they did
Cloud
manage to
cuy.
actually trade off between the two turrets from the
Lihat game
top
bisa
as
nih,
well as
RRQ.
mid lane. Here on out, Team RRQ Hoshi, at least on the cover ground of the map, is still in their hands.
Even though Onyx was able to get some good kills in that previous fight, remember the
Bentar
win
ya, kita
conditions we
push
mentioned. As long as
running
RRQ
text dulu
Hoshi
cuy.
keeps the gold somewhat even until the late game, they are actually in the lead. And the goal difference right now, very, very small.
nah,
Only
bagus.
about 1,000 in favor of Fnatic Onyx Philippines. In comparison, RQ will scale way better, and they're gonna play for that timing.
Oh, they're gonna pay from starting Avatar Guardian coming in for the push.
Oke, lagi war.
Had to pull away, but so much damage coming in.
Eh.
But Scala takes
No,
out
no.
Spurs immediately and restarts.
Coba kelihatan.
And the goal difference
Wow.
right now, very, very small. Only about 1,000 in favor of Fnatic Onyx Philippines. In
Aaron kena.
RQ will
Oke,
scale
oke.
way better, and they're gonna play for that timing.
Iya.
Iya.
Oh, they're gonna
Benar,
pay
Bang.
from starting
Gak ada damage,
Avatar
cuy.
Guardian
PH nggak ada
for
damage.
the push. At the moment right
Ah,
now,
jadi
Kiko
idok.
had to pull away, but so much
Nice.
damage in. But Scala takes down
Menang,
Spurs
Cok.
immediately and restarts down Bruce.
Nah.
Kara been stuck in the middle.
Kara Gacorrrr, guys.
Dragon, but King Kong
Mampus PH.
with the Spear of Alpha,
Mati,
trying to
mati,
pull
mati.
King, stick it out
Eh,
there.
jangan,
Cok.
Coming down
Cok.
to push in with the last explosion, shutting him
Iya,
down
iya, iya.
with these sacrifices.
Iya, Ricky.
But there's
Rata,
lead
Cok.
already from the side of RQ just to take
Segini
down
doang,
a
PH.
team wiped out desirable in RRQ.
Meta Brawl, cok.
Fnatic Onyx.
Meta Brawl dikalahkan oleh Meta Brawl, cuy.
Position around the Lord Pit. At this stage of the game, it's understandable. They still have control. They still have damage. But
Bakal
RRQ
menang guys,
have
guys.
their micro movements, and it has been very, very impressive the way that they're dodging Avatar the Guardian every single time, making use of iframes. And Edok as well, finding Super Prince in the backline and kicking him into the blazing duet, thereby funneling the entirety of Fnatic Onyx into a small area where Skylar can do the most damage. He also
kecilin
now has
kamera.
the most gold in the game. RQ, with a 2k net worth lead now at 10 minutes, are very poised to take this game if Onyx are not able to find an equalizer.
Now let's see. They're gonna go in
Okay.
straight to the bottom side. Doesn't spot anyone. It seems that Edo trying to find a way to actually go into the backline first of all, but at the same time will be denied by Super Friends, not allowing any extension coming in from
Let's
the
go
RRQ.
RRQ.
Lords is marching in. King Kong right at the front
Apakah
side.
RRQ akan juara MC cuy?
Will be at the backline. Doesn't spot anyone just yet, but they don't know who they want to go
Apakah
in. Vince overlooking straight.
penantian RRQ selama ini akan dijawab
down
guys
the
di MC?
turret but they deny it. They're actually having a little bit of
Apakah ini
agitation
saatnya
try to
cuy?
pull in into the Fnatic
Apakah
Onyx, and
skin
this is
Cloud
the reason
MCQ
why
itu real
Fnatic
guys?
Onyx having a really good defense wise so far, and Team RRQ they couldn't find the opening they needed, so at least on the side of Fnatic Onyx they still be able to neutralize all the lords and the wave that coming their way.
But they're not able to neutralize the gold advantage.
Agak aneh ya guys ya kalau PH kalah sama Indo kayak gini aja cuy.
They have successfully taken every exterior tower from the side of Fnatic Onyx, leaving only the inhibitors
Apa yang bikin kalah guys?
While Onyx
Apa yang
is
bikin
pretty
PH kalah?
strong as a 5-man death bow,
Kalau menurut gua sih si Hildanya sih, dia tuh nahan badan banget cuy.
split up the map and even play for pickoffs. So they're gonna continue doing so.
Reka-reka lah.
They can bait out individual members
Main
of
reka-reka
Fnatic
sih,
Onyx. And if they're able to continue doing that, it's going to be quite difficult for our Filipino champions.
Let's see. King Kong trying to find a way to break to RRQ. So far,
Draftnya kalau draft sih kiri bisa menang cuy kalau di awal tadi nggak mati-mati mulu ya kaleranya sama Brusco sama Xbox guys.
It's not in the favor of Fnatic.
Xbox di sini tuh menjawab banget guys, menjawab draft kiri banget untuk di late game guys. Di mid game lah. Di late game-nya ada Skylar. Kanan tuh lengkap guys. Early ada Hilda, cow. Mid ada Prince, Khaled. Di timnya ada dua Skylar sama Tsujin cuy Xbox. Kalau kiri ini combo hero-nya guys, combo skill hero-nya bagus dia. Kalau buat late game sih ada susah sih kalau ngelawan Xbox kalau
RRQ Hoshi are taking care of that incredibly well.
Kalau mau menang tuh harus
on their own or have built-in escape mechanism so that
apain
they
ya
are
kalau
able
mau
to
menang?
push waves without needing to worry too much about
Harus bonus Tsujinnya kali ya.
Kirk is the only really reliable form of CC.
Kalau bonus Skylar juga bakal susah guys kalau ada Tsujin.
And that is after being purified. Otherwise, RRQ Hoshi just have so many ways of controlling team fights.
Buset. PH dia ayam-ayamin nih guys. Mati dong. PH dia ayam-ayamin cuy. Pas mati. Gila RRQ cuy. Buset. Apaan tuh? Astaga. Pinoy. Aduh mati dong. Enggak. Tsujin nggak mati. Nggak bakal mati. Mati dong. Gue pengen lihat yang tadi cuy, yang si kolodenya ngegas kan sini. King Kong mati di sini. Enak banget cuy draft kiri cuy. Buset, menang. Nih. Bentar kan ini mati. Kolodenya masuk cuy. Belum tower. Ini sih gila ya. Lihat. Buset. Langsung purify mati Haritnya. Pikiran terlalu nafsu yes. Mati dong. Bloodline tuker XP sama Ruam cuy. Tapi di sini Kera menurut gua nggak main sih Haritnya sih. Harit kalau lawan Xbox tuh susah guys. Di mid-nya. Di late game-nya juga susah sih. Harit ketemu Xbox tuh.
I really like the decision that was made by RRQ to
Harusnya.
just rush in and try to take out the remaining members so that they could end the game with the Lord. Unfortunately, they went a little bit too far, and Kirk was luckily able to survive with a tiny bit of HP, because if the Eden had gone down, RRQ would have definitely ended the game right there and then. With that though, that does give Onyx a little bit more breathing room, but they only have one inhibitor on very low HP to hold on to. Whatever happens, this next Lord must go into their hands, or RRQ should be able to quite easily whittle down the crystal.
Kalau mau menang sih nunggu RRQ blunder sih, nunggu Scalar blunder guys. Scalar sama Sutsujin mati udah susah sih. Scalar atau Sutsujin, Scalar sih. Intinya di Scalar sih. Scalar harus mati di sini kalau mau menang ya PH ya. Jadi sebelum Lord dia harus sudah culik Scalar aja. Walaupun susah ya.
Favor, but just need one more push. Will be denied instantly by Fnatic. Just one more hit could have actually got that turret, but in the end, Fnatic still giving a lot of pressure, not allowing RRQ to even come in.
Yeah, Skylar tried to go in with the BMI for one last hit on the tower, but we have to remember, in the patch, they updated the tower so that they are just super tanky if you don't have minions nearby. In the past, a single hit would have actually taken that down, but that's no longer viable. Regardless though, I think RRQ are in a very, very comfortable position. Right now, Skylar going to be doing a lot of damage, and because there isn't enough ways for Fnatic Onyx to force out his Purify, he can actually position himself very aggressively without needing to be worried about being CC chained. He has 0 deaths so far, and the Lord is coming up. Fnatic Onyx need this, or they need to at least slow him down with only one tower standing. If RRQ pushes in with this and the
ini perang di Lordnya guys.
It is
RRQ, yup. Salah banget coy dia ngincer coy. Kelar dah. Anjay, pinter gitu. Hampir aja Scalar.
The overextension was done by the side of Fnatic Onyx will be to the grounds of this site, despite the fact Darren had to be sacrificed, but it's already
hilang tutup.
Get this first game in the hands of Indonesia.
An unexpected result, but one that we all
ini the downfall of PH.
Both of these teams are very powerful contenders.
RRQ menang cuy.
Attack growth, but that only helps him out towards the late game. And in that regard, he loses out to heroes like Nathan, Claude, Beatrix, and so on. So I don't
actually expecting on RRQ's side Hoshi to be shut down in the early stages, because that was what we saw on the early 2 minutes or even the 4 minutes itself. Because the fact is, RRQ Hoshi, they try to actually put out a really good fight, but Fnatic Onyx was the one who actually put out a really good aggression. But now, finally, this is round number 2, guys. I'm really, really sorry again on the side, but we are now going into round number 2, RRQ Hoshi, Indonesia versus Fnatic Onyx Philippines.
Ooh, and it looks like we've already missed a good chunk of the action, actually. We are nearly 8 minutes into the game. The kills are currently 8-6 in favor of Fnatic. The Brody pick was actually real, and Kelra has been doing pretty good so far.
Tiba-tiba.
Wah, nggak bisa sini. Very close to taking out Edok there too.
Tiba-tiba RRQ kalah guys.
A little bit too aggression right now, but he had to pull it. But on the other side, we do see
masih ada Aurora ya.
insert himself. That's not gonna be a good
Darren, manis kamu.
Will be immediately be punished by Darren.
Sujin. Buset dah.
Immediately getting right now, and as we see, it seems like Sujin is not done. He wants to pull another player of RRQ, but
improve banget sih dia.
Unfortunately, Team Fnatic Onyx, they losing those 2 players in the process of trying to shut down RRQ. It's still not enough, but covering grounds on the map wise, look at this. We got 2 of the turrets already been taken out. RRQ looking better than
ever. Udah sih ini RRQ menang sih guys.
I do wish we got to see
Draft
exactly
kiri
what
tuh
are
kalau
the moments that led
early-nya
up to
bagus
this
tuh snowball
situation,
guys.
but looks like RRQ Hoshi
Si
has been
apa
able to
namanya si
reclaim a
Suyonya.
gold lead, and Suchijin getting another
Harita juga udah
lord.
enak ini.
While the late game scaling
Gacorrrr kalau
between
late
these
game
two is
udah
not
susah
as
sih.
drastically
Draft
different
kanan tuh
compared to game number
terlalu
one,
early
because there
nggak sih?
isn't something like a Claude to deal with. I
Brodinya
do think that
di
RRQ
late
still
game
has
susah
the
guys
slightly
Brody.
better late game, because
Apalagi ada
Brody
Dairon.
doesn't scale quite as well, and with a Hari and Suyo, you actually have a lot of damage to deal with.
Oke
Agree,
guys,
definitely.
welcome
I
back
mean,
to
not
game
only
2
that,
ya
we
guys
got
ya. Jadi
Prince
kita lupa sambutan
using
karena
that
kita kaget
Aurora
tadi
as
tiba-tiba
well.
menit
So
7 cuy.
Team RRQ Hoshi, they're going
Dan
out
welcome
for
back.
the damage itself.
Di
Now pushing
sini
in straight
adalah
forward
game
in
2
mid game
dari
turret,
RRQ
trying to stop his
versus
way with the
Fnatic
power
Onyx
abilities,
PH
but they
yang dimana
managed to do
RRQ
so
akan
as
sangat
Kurt managed to
membantai
pull away. Now the
dari
Lord
seorang
will be
Pinoy di
marching
sini
into the
guys
lane
ya.
to clear out the last second turret in the mid.
Negara Meta
So
Brawl cuy.
far, RQ looks to be in control of this game.
Gara-gara
Fnatic
dikatain
Onyx,
gitu
they do
cuy
have
langsung ngamuk
tools.
gini RRQ.
Valentina and Joy actually do a surprising amount of DPS once
Apakah
they got the
RRQ
King
akan
Fighters
juara
under their
NC
belt.
cuy?
But Sutsujin just finished his BOD. So being able to
Apakah
control the fight is
EVOS
very,
akan
very
tergantikan
crucial.
guys?
Briscoe going to be the only real form of
Tapi gue
setup
kaget
that
banget
Fnatic
sih
Onyx
RRQ
can
bisa
play
ngalahin
around
PH
on
kayak
that
gini sih.
Arlet. But if the timing is
Apa karena
incorrect,
bukan
Prince, who
perwakilan
did
itu
end up
bukan
going
itu ya AP
Aurora
Brand
in the end after Vexana got banned out, will be able to take
Sutsujin
over the
Beon.
fight.
Oh, King Kong versus Suzujin going in for the slash, but doesn't manage to get the knocks that is needed. King Kong still survive it
Kalau
out.
diterusin bisa menang
It
Sutsujin
does
sih.
seems in the favor of King Kong
Cooldownnya
though, because
lama.
Suzujin had so
Bisa
much
menang
damage, but
Kong
RRQ
juga dia
Hoshi
ada
with a
ulti.
really good
Enggak
call
ada
out
ulti sih tapi
respawn wise, that's
menang
the reason
Sutsujin
why
harusnya.
King Kong had to pull away before he's been ganged out. But at the same time, right here, another turret to be taken out on the second last tier. So that means it's all out to the last tier of Fnatic on it holding on to their turrets.
Looking at the gold leaderboard right
Maling,
now,
Cok.
Sutsujin right at the very top with Skylar right behind him as well.
King Kong ngapain
King
guys?
Kong not quite at level 15, so there is an EXP disparity. We can see that the rotations from RRQ Hoshi are very controlled with this Matilda.
Coming in straight away to
Dairon
try
mati.
to go in for the power over this, but
hampir.
doesn't manage to take it out. Now
Nice,
Dairon
nice.
had to pull away so much
Wah, dimanjain.
overextension and then
Nggak bakal berani
having
coy.
to cause
Kalah
his
cok.
own
Kalau
half
dimanjain.
line. But at the same time, right here, Zaman Force
Duitnya kalah jauh
not
guys.
able to
Kalau
have
diwarin ya.
anyone to locked on. It's just so them to give them at least a slow down tempo coming
RRQ
into their own movement. But at the same
masih
time, right
memegang
here,
kendali
on
cuy.
it, trying to find a way if they can actually
PH
pick
bakal
up anyone
nangis
from
guys malam
RRQ
ini
Hoshi.
guys. Orang-orang PH guys.
Yeah, looking at the itemization right now, Holy Crystal already completed on Skylar as well. This is where Hari really starts hitting like a truck and continuing to invade the jungle.
Oh, Psycho takes down Super Prince as well. Great job coming in
Indo
with that
nih.
hailstorm. But at the same time, right here,
Tak kenapa menurut gue ya guys ya.
had to pull away.
Fnatic Onyx PH ini beda banget sama HP Brand waktu MSC atau EWC kemarin cuy. Dia mainnya di early tuh kayak kurang aja gitu.
And while they do have tools to maybe manage the
Kayak
CEO, they're having to
berantakan, rada berantakan daripada AP Brand MSC kemarin guys.
Have kind of get out of free jail cards because of that Matilda.
Kenapa
the
guys
way
ya?
that they're able to dance in and out of
Mainnya
the team fights, while a little bit different from game number one, is showing some similarities. Right now.
Agree, definitely. And taking a look on RRQ Hoshi,
It's
looking over to the side of King Kong. E-Dog is looking for a way, but they pull away instead to go in for the two-way because they are going to actually prioritize on the wave as the Lord is already marching in. And seems like King Kong gets the input. He's going to actually recall back to join into the team fight. We're seeing straight away on the top right now. Hailstorm comes through. Does get a hit to Kurt's side, but it's not going to be enough. The turret is coming in already. First of the trade from the mid lane is
MC kalau kayak gini gue bisa tebak
he's looking for one person to
grand
try
finalnya bakal tim
wis and it's gonna be super face to be able to take down overextension will be punished, but at this moment right now we do see
the PH tuh nggak bakal bisa ngebalikin gara-gara gitu doang
to hold down that positioning so much of the
susah cok PH di sini draft
not enough.
late game.
There's very, very heavy pressure on Briscoe right now. That final slash is the only real way that Fnatic can really punish RRQ for being out of position. And that was one clear example of it. But they were only able to find 2. That's not quite enough yet. They're going to see what more they can take by pushing down mid.
Buset, mati dong.
Will be picked up Summerall. He had to pull away slowly, but at the same time right here, Fnatic Onyx will be able to take down Durin even with the at the same time, RRQ looking a little bit struggling right now, even though they were in the lead in the first place.
Yeah, that is the momentum that Onyx really, really needed. RRQ are still fine. They still have a 5k net worth lead. That's just a momentary stopgap in their advancement. But they cannot allow that to happen a second or third time. Briscoe's positioning keys needs to be paid attention to.
Garis. Suaranya kok kecil banget ya.
And they cannot group out right outside the base because that just sets up perfectly for a flicker final slash. Fnatic gonna use
Ada
this
perlawanan dari
opportunity to take as
seorang
many structures as
PH
possible
ya guys
and
ya.
look to regain control over the map so that they can more easily contest the next neutral objective.
Agree, definitely. 30 seconds on the clock. Lord will be spawned out, and it seems that they're trying to actually push this wave to the side of Team RRQ Hoshi. Let's see if it's gonna be in their favor. Spotted out Kirk in the bushes. They will get the
Gak kelihatan anjir. Bentar.
info they required, not gonna allow any invasion or the movement of Team Fnatic Onyx that easily. But we do see King Kong is already right at the top, and they might actually go in for this fight. Already stacking on the Lord, waiting.
Bentar. Orang ke atas anjir. Okay,
for the
lanjut.
time being.
Briscoe, if he can set up a final slash into King Kong and Kelra, that is the win condition that Onyx is looking for. But it doesn't necessarily have to be a big flashy play like that either. If they can continue picking up individual members of RRQ, maybe forcing out resources early, they can still
Bentar cuy. Sabar ini naikin dulu. Aku lihat tadi ya. 19 berarti 14. 14 berarti 15. Yuk. Nonton.
take control of this game.
Oh, but they picked up, almost able to be taken out a little bit too over.
Kayak kurang naik gitu guys. 15 7 ya. Coba.
Break session coming in
Berapa? Balik aja. Ya.
RRQ, but still they managed to actually reposition themselves. But right now, Ido try to find a way to take down Prince, but on the other side, King Kong. Oh, but he managed to pull away. Zaman Sabot able to take down Cusco. Is already right at the top, and they might still, they managed to actually
Oke,
reposition
kita
themselves.
lihat.
But right now, Ido try to find a way to take down Prince. But on
King
the other
Kong
side,
langsung
King Kong a little
maju
bit of
macam
extension.
orang
Oh, but
bodoh
he managed
guys.
to pull away. Even that Zaman
Brusco
support
langsung
able
kena
to take
damage
down Brusco
mati,
immediately. Now
PH
pushing into
menjadi
Gacorrrr.
tai
Takes
cuy.
down Gacorrrr immediately by Susujin, and that's gonna be an
Brusco
opening.
Super
But Super
Vince
Prince tried to
muter-muter.
move away as quickly as possible. But will
Dan
he
kau
be able
lihat
to do
itu
so?
kok
So much
kiri,
damage
apa
been
yang
put out.
kiri?
Team RRQ Kazu try to hold it out.
Apa yang
Even
kiri Cok?
with the shots coming through by Scarlet, is still not gonna be in the favor. But
Bagus
still,
sih,
that's
tapi
already the enough damage that is needed. But Kurt,
gak guna
all
banget
by
Cok Hildanya
himself,
di
trying to
late game
clear
ini.
out the wave
Menurut gue
coming
draftnya
into
RRQ
the
ini
mid lane.
terlalu
Not sure
bagus guys.
what is going on, but Kurt now will be
Gameplaynya
joining
juga
into the
bagus sih.
team fight. He tried to finish off the mid lane, but the slot
Bagus banget
will
Cok
be
draft
able
RRQ.
to clear out to
Cash
give the
Footies.
opportunity for RRQ Hoshi to march on again into the baseline of Fnatic Onyx.
Kirk definitely doing God's work though. That's basically the only thing that he can try to do there, slow down the middle wave. Because if he didn't manage to do that,
Ini bakal
it
gila
would have
sih guys
collapsed
kalau
with
RRQ menang
RRQ at the
2-0
same time when multiple members
bakal
already taken
dibahas-bahas
out.
streamer
And
lain
that could have
coy.
actually been the end of game 2.
PH
There's
bakal
no way that Kirk is going
digoreng-goreng
to
di
be able to
sosmed
rejoin the
guys.
fight after all of that. So dealing with wave management and making sure housekeeping is kept up is the best way to maintain the game state. Unfortunately, because Brusco missed the, well, he did land the flicker final slash,
Wait,
but his team
Sujin?
wasn't close enough to
Mati
follow
dong.
up, and that's the major thing.
Ih,
Oh, but Susujin is in a
jangan
very
Sujin.
tough
Aduh,
situation
mati
right
lah.
here, but he will be able to
Mati
take
semua
down by
Cok.
King Kong. Now, Fnatic Onyx denied
Gak
immediately
bisa
two
menang
of the
coy.
players of RRQ
Belum
Hoshi
bisa,
as
belum
well,
bisa. Balik,
taking
balik,
out Vince
balik
as
mabuk.
well. Even with
Mati
the
lah.
Lord itself is already
Nah,
marching into
man.
Fnatic Onyx, they don't have enough
Gila,
of
gila PH.
resources to be
Keren,
put
keren.
out. So here on out, seems that King Kong will try to actually go in. Nope, he doesn't actually try to
Gak
go
bakal mati
into
King Kongnya sih.
because that's not a really good position to fight out
Nih
with
guys,
RRQ Hoshi.
gue kasih tahu ya.
A bit of a
RRQ
mistake
cara
by
menangnya
Sujin
gimana
there. He
guys.
definitely should have left. If he was
Simple aja Cok,
counting
kayak
the
tadi
timing, he would have
dia
known that the skill 2 of Joy
ngebunuh
was already
si
back up, and a
Sujinnya guys,
single
karena
hit
intinya
would
di
have
sini
been
tuh
enough to take him out.
Sujinnya
And
sama
if
Skylar
he's
guys.
gone, there's no way that Rins can follow up because
Kalau
the
di
Aurora just has a
pas
hard
mau
time
war
counting
dia
that
dapat
Joy.
Skylar atau
If
Sujin antara
I
salah
get
satu
that
itu
they
dia
were
udah
probably
pasti
trying to
bisa
split push
menang
the
war
wave and
sih.
maybe hold King Kong back from rejoining his
Tapi nggak
friends
boleh
so that
ditukar
maybe the rest of
satupun
RRQ
orang
could
kecuali
push with the
Brusco
Lord
ya.
and end the
Kalau
game.
Brusco
But
nuker
because they lost two
Skylar sih bisa
members
menang
there,
sih.
King
Menang.
Kong was able to get back.
Syukur Sujin lah,
Fnatic was
lebih
able to
bagusnya
regroup,
Sujin
and the
sih.
Lord that RRQ had so
Kalau mau
painstakingly
menang ya.
gained for themselves amounted to really no advantage on the map at all. And the longer the game goes, the more control
Tapi
Fnatic
tetap
is
menang sih
able to
RRQ
take
ini.
for themselves. This Suyo, while still able to do
Harusnya ya.
a lot of DPS in the last
Tapi
few
kalau menurut
minutes,
gue Super
is pretty
Vince-nya harus
squishy
lebih
once you
aktif
get to
sih.
that stage, and Joy actually
Ngepok
starts
damage-nya.
taking over with the
Jadi
amount of
dia
anti-CC
tuh
that she
takut-takut
can
no
lay
lu lihat.
down.
Harusnya dia ngepok
Oh,
di Ren
agreed,
aja kan.
definitely. And this is a crucial point coming in from
Ngepok di
RRQ
Ren,
Hoshi.
skill
They
1,
have
skill
to
2,
time
skill
it right,
2,
gotta be
kabur
careful.
ya
And
kan.
it seems that Brusco
Kalau
is
sempet
gonna
skill
try
1
to
lagi buat
find a
ngetau
way
guys.
to break into the back line of RRQ
Frik,
Hoshi. But it's gonna be
Frik
Kurt
gak bakal
try to
mati.
initiate it, but they pull away, denying any movement coming in from Fnatic. Super Prince also just overlooking from the distance, but
Gak
it's
bakal
gonna be
mati dia.
Duran who try to go in for the initiation,
Pas
but doesn't manage to do it. Even with the Hailstorm, denies any movement coming in from Fnatic. Try to get that info as much as possible, but Team Fnatic Onyx is all over the place.
Yeah, neither team is gonna look to commit right there. Information is the battlefield right now. As we approach the 20-minute mark, Kirk, his job is just to stand in front, provide
Oke,
scouting,
King
and
Kong
see
lama
where
juga
RRQ
guys.
is. Briscoe, despite being on an Arlet, actually wants to
Kapan
stand the
warnya nih
map
guys?
so that he can come in at the opportunistic time to get a flicker final slash and put RRQ out of position. The best case scenario, if they've already spent resources trying to dive into Fnatic Onyx. That mistake has already happened to them once. I highly doubt it'll happen again. It's gonna really come down to how well Fnatic Onyx can control the map and split
Skylar udah
apart the
lengkap
members so
Jira
that
item
they get
sama
a false
Bruce
sense of
si siapa
security
tuh
that
Kiara
maybe
juga
they
udah
can
lengkap
start a
sih.
fight.
Oh, agree, definitely. I mean, looking on the side right now, they are great in positioning wise. The RRQ not allowing any of the backline comes in, even Fnatic also not giving any of the space to come through. But here on out, we do see Diren going for initiation again. Everyone comes through Brusco right on the pick, but doesn't manage to connect the dot as quickly as possible. And Fnatic on it pull away as quickly. And now,
Cepat lah, udah mau habis baterai gue, Cok.
they want to get the slot immediately done.
Ya.
They're gonna try and control the
Suaranya
Lord
anjir.
Pit right now. Fnatic Onyx
Suara
right on
game
the
hilang anjir.
edge. And the fight starts
Kiara
again.
ngapain, Cok?
The fight starts again. Kiara will be picked out immediately by Dylan. Will deny of the movement, but as
orang apa
possible. And
mati,
Fnatic
anjir.
want to pull away as quickly. And now
Apain dia, Cok?
Team RRQ Hoshi, they want to get the slot immediately done.
Klik.
They're gonna try and control
Gacorrrr
the
ke
war pit
sono,
right now.
ada
Fnatic on
Popeus.
right on the edge. And the fight starts
Langsung
again.
kena
The
biji-bijian
fight starts
Skylar.
again. Carol will
Mati,
be picked out
yes.
immediately by Durin. By the same time, that Zaman Force will deny of the
Bosco
movement,
juga
but he'll be able to
nyelamatin
take down Bosco as
Gacorrrnya.
well. Pushing into King Kong. Durin going in for the power for the fight off the side of King Kong, but doesn't
Wah,
manage to pull
salah
through. But
banget
Super
sih
Prince,
PH.
Windbreak take out, overextension come through,
Ininya
but
mati sih,
Sister will
tapi
be able to take
dia
down by
bisa
King Kong.
ngeluk
But
sih.
now
4
Team
versus
RRQ,
3.
they
Kenapa
want
lu
more.
lewat
They're gonna
kanan
try to push
situ?
into Super Prince, going in with the
Kenapa
Hillsong,
lu lewat
doesn't
kanan
connect the
situ?
dot. Sky
Mati
trying
dong.
to push away, slowing it down
Kan
for the
gue
moment.
bilang jangan lewat kanan,
And managed to
anjir.
take down
Ngapain,
Super
Cok?
Prince immediately. And now
Kongkong,
leaving
ngapain
two more players
kongkong?
to go. King Kong right in the open. They're
Mati,
looking for
Cok,
a
King
win.
Kongnya. Kenapa,
Karin
guys?
try to slow him down. Goes in from
Loncat, boy.
side. Doesn't
Nggak
manage
ada,
to slow
ada
him
ulti.
down. And Team
Ada
RRQ,
ulti, anjir. Kenapa nggak
Hoshi
loncat?
just try to do as much damage as they could. But they
2
want to finish this
orang.
off already. Kurt comes in
End
for
sini.
in the fight. In
End,
between.
bro. End,
He
bro.
tried to survive it,
RRQ,
but
guys.
Prince takes him down. And now one more play to go.
Kelas.
Goes in for the team wipe out. And this is the end. RRQ Hoshi wins the series with 2-0.
Such a good example